go of everything that doesn't serve you, and even feeling some of your thoughts and that energy in your head and your brain, just let it pour out of your crown and down onto the ground. Any ruminations, any thoughts about the day, any frustrations, that's all just rolling off of you into the earth. Let Mother Earth hold that. Awesome. And then taking your hands and gently placing them on the ground in front of you, just in front of your feet. What we're going to do is sink our butt down. So bending through your knees, sinking your butt down. You're going to go into yogi squat. Now this one might be a little bit hard on the knees, so just take it slow. You can put a block under your bum if you want. What we're doing is just getting into the lower back. So elbows can push at your knees if you want to open your hips more. Checking in with your knees, of course, making sure that this isn't twinging them. And then just feeling this deep release in your hips and lower back. Good. Sometimes I like to put my hands out in front of me just for balance too. Good. A couple breaths here. And then if you like, taking your elbows now to the outside of your knees, and then taking just clasping your hands in front of you and letting your head now roll down so chin comes to your chest, and you're basically in like this little ball now, feeling your upper back opening up and breathing into your upper back. Good. In this case, it's okay to round forward and hunch forward because we're going into this ultra deep stretch for our lower back and neck. Awesome. And then taking your hands out on either side of you, we're just going to come now back onto our bum and bring our feet out in front of us. The soles of your feet on the floor. Knees bent. Taking your hands behind you and just opening up your chest for a second. That's just the counter stretch to the pose we just did. Good, so opening up your chest and your shoulders. You can even tilt back your head if that feels okay on your neck and open your throat. Awesome, and then coming to neutral. Taking your hands and wrapping them around your knees now, we're going to do a cat-cow, seated cat-cow. So getting a little bit of movement into your spine. You can inhale, opening up your heart, pushing through, using your knees as traction to open up, and then exhaling, rounding your spine, feeling into your upper back. And then you can go with your own breath at your own pace. Sometimes I like to do this a little faster. Not really stopping at the top. Just in one fluid movement, going back and forth. Waking up the spine. Getting more length in the spine. I've had several cracks in my back. I don't know about you guys. But slowly everything's opening up. Some space in between the vertebrae, however you say it. Christy, you probably know because you know the anatomy better than I do. Good, and then coming back to neutral, taking your right knee and straightening your leg, so straightening your right leg in front of you, and then taking your left foot to your right thigh. Just gonna do a really simple forward fold here. So getting yourself situated, and then on the inhale, you're opening up, or you're lifting up, reaching up, and on the exhale, folding forward. Good. And I have my right foot flexed so I can get into the calf muscle. So I really like it that way with the right foot active. And then we're gonna hold here for at least 5 breaths. I haven't rounded my spine yet because I just want to keep my heart open and not too much rounding, but you guys are totally welcome to just fold forward, rounding your spine, letting your head and neck go. Good. On the inhale, you might come out just a little bit. On the exhale, you may feel yourself sinking down even deeper, elongating the back of your leg. Still filling into the lower back. Letting that whole hamstring open up. Inhale so deep that you come up a bit, and then exhale so much that you just fold on forward. One more breath here. And then just walking yourself up slowly out of that pose. That was pretty intense for the back of your leg. Let's straighten out the left leg to meet the right. And my favorite thing to reset is just to wiggle the feet back and forth. And we'll move to the other side. So now right foot comes to left inner thigh. And you want your hips to face forward as much as possible. So they're going to want to rotate off to the right with your right knee, bringing them back to face forward. And then you can have a slight bend in your left leg, bend in your left knee. And on the inhale, reaching up, lengthening through our side body. And then exhale, folding forward. Again, you can flex your left foot to intensify the stretch in the back of the leg, opening up that whole back side. You can gently place your hands wherever they land. My hands are landing on my, just below my knee. And I'm almost using my hands as a bit of a traction to fold forward a little bit more on the exhale. Very gently though. On the inhale, feeling up. And exhale, folding forward. And you can relax into the pose, rounding your back, letting your chin drop. Feeling the stretch in the back of your neck. Or you can have more of an open heart. Staying with the pose a little bit longer. Right, when you feel like you might want to come out, this is where the real lengthening starts to happen. So one more deep breath in. Exhaling. And then on the next in-breath, slowly walking yourself up, straightening out both legs. You can do a windshield wiper with your knees up if you want. That can release any tension that accumulated in your back while you were doing the forward fold. That should feel really good to do the windshield wiper. Awesome. So crossing your legs now, we're just gonna do a nice gentle twist to further open up the upper back. And so taking your left hand to your right knee, right hand to the back, and just twisting very gently to your right. You might feel a rinsing or a wringing out of your spine. And you can make this a moving pose too if you want. So on the inhale, you come back to neutral. And the exhale, you flow over to the other side. But you can also also hold it too. If that feels good to you, holding there. Feeling your core is engaged. If you took your hands off of the ground and off of your knee, where would you be? Would you still be twisted or would you come out? If you'd still be twisted, that means you're using your core. Let's try that on the other side, moving to the other side. Lengthening through the crown and exhaling, twisting from the core. You can do that little test, lifting your hands up, seeing where you land. Are you still twisted? And then if you let go of your core, what happens? You kind of just come out of it. Draining out your spine. Good, and then coming back to neutral. Change the cross of your legs. Taking your right hand and placing it out to the side of you on your mat. You're just tenting your fingers out to the right. Good, and then taking your left ear to your left shoulder. Now we're stretching out through the side of our neck. Left hand can be on your knee, exactly. Just opening up that whole scalenes on your neck, and then all the way down to the traps, a part where we hold our tension. And then you can play around. You can take your chin and you can point it down to your chest. If that feels good, you can keep it there. Personally, I like it just to the side. And then to come out of this, take your left hand to your left temple and just slowly push your head back up. So you're just helping your head back up. Yeah, and then just push your head back up to neutral. Exactly. Good, let's do the other side. So now reaching out with the left hand, tenting your fingers on the other side. And then slowly bringing your right ear to your right shoulder or to the other side. One side might feel a little bit more compressed than the other. Breathing into the side of your left neck, the left side of your neck. And then bringing your chin down if you want to experiment that way. Pointing it to your right armpit. See what that feels like. Getting more to the back of your neck now. Then chin can come up. You can play around with your chin. If you feel something that feels really good and you need it, you can stay there. We'll do one more deep breath here. And then taking your right fingertips to your right temple now, you're just helping your head come back up to neutral. Good. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Let's slowly move our way onto all fours. However you want to get there, that's good for you. And then just setting up so that your hips are above your knees, shoulders are above your wrists. Your crown is reaching out in front of you. So you still have a nice long spine, crown lifted, and tailbone is reaching to the back of the room. Engaging your core so you have a nice flat back. And then we're going to get into our shoulders and chest a little bit here. So reaching your right arm and opening it up to the right side. Reaching up, opening your chest, opening your shoulder, and then threading Cheek comes to the ground. We're in thread the needle now. Good. That left hip is going to want to jut out. Just inch it to the right. You'll feel an intensity in your right shoulder. Breathing here. Feeling your neck opening, shoulder opening. We'll do one more deep breath. And then just opening up to the other side. Opening up to the right. Oh, and we're going to do the other side now. You can come into neutral for a second too. Just making sure everything is lined up. Neutral is always a nice spot before you go to the other side or to the next pose. Checking in with all the parts of your body, and then opening up the left side, reaching up, opening the chest, and threading it through. Gently resting your left cheek. And breathing here. We'll stay here for about 4 silent breaths. And when you're ready, pushing up and opening up to the left side, opening your chest, reaching your arm up, and then hands come down into all fours. We're going to make our way down to our bellies. So just bringing your hands in front of you, and then coming down to your elbows, and then all the way down to your belly. So we've been doing a lot of stretching through the back side of our bodies. We're going to open up the front a little bit more. So first, we're going to go into Sphinx, which is a really subtle pose, but I'll try to give you a few cues to make it worth it. So what I like to do is take my toes and point them and reach them to the back wall. So I'm reaching through my toes, and then at the same time I'm reaching through the crown of my head. And your elbows are almost digging into the mat to open up your heart. So now you're going to feel a lengthening in your belly, hip flexors, chest, crown of the head. Opening up the front body now. We're going to just stay here in Sphinx. You can always come into upward dog if you want, but that's a little bit too intense for my lower back. So upward dog, your hands would be by your chest, tucking your tail, and then opening up into like one of the really big opening poses. You can do that momentarily if you want, and then come back down into Sphinx. Just to feel how good it feels to open up our hearts and our throats and our bellies. Especially if we carry tension in our bellies. I know sometimes I have butterflies all day if I'm having an anxious day, or I forgot to eat, or my digestion's a little off, and the belly holds a lot of that stress too. So now just taking 2 more silent breaths here, working on lengthening your crown to the front and your toes to the back, and digging your elbows in as your chest comes forward. Pressing down through the heels of your feet. Good, and then coming down all the way onto the chest, bringing your arms out into a T, We're gonna keep opening up the front of our bodies. So right arm comes out in a T, and then the left fingertips tent on the floor, and they're going to, so we're doing this chest opening one that Christy likes, and I think why you like it too. I think you've done it a lot. So this right side of your face leans gently on the mat, so your whole front body is relaxed. And then you're pushing your left side and opening up through your left side. Left foot can come down on the ground behind you. And you can stay like that if that's enough for your right shoulder and chest. And then breathing in here. Breathing into that right chest, shoulder. Releasing any tension in the rest of your body if you're holding it anywhere. And of course, if you want, you can take your left hand and reach it back to try to meet your right hand. And you'll just feel your chest opening even more. Even if it gets nowhere near your right hand, just that motion of moving your arm back, you'll feel your collarbones opening even more. And then when you're ready to come out, tenting your left fingers on the ground again, near your chest, and rolling to center. Now, bringing your left arm into a T pose. We're gonna go on to the other side. Left cheek comes to the ground. Tenting your right fingertips near your chest to gently open your right side. Sorry, right fingers tented, opening your right side now. So your right side is opening, but your left chest and left shoulder is getting a stretch. 3 silent breaths here. Just enjoying that opening of your chest. Maybe you're feeling the opening to your hip flexor too on the right side of it. Moving your right hand back to meet your left. For one last breath. And then just rolling on out. We're going to slowly push back into child's pose now. Knees can be together or apart, whatever is most comfortable for you. So any tension that's accumulated in the lower back, just kind of rocking side to side now with your hips. Your hands can be right next to your face if you want. And we're going to take 5 long breaths here. Forehead might be pressing gently to the earth. Letting go of your jaw, letting go of your shoulders. And then slowly pushing your head off of the mat. Coming to all fours as slowly as you want. If anyone needs to take a quick sip of water, go ahead and do that now. I'm so sorry, Jackie. I did not see you. Welcome, Jackie. I'm so sorry I didn't see you. I've recorded it anyways. I'm so sorry I didn't see you, Jackie. All right.
It's me.
Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh.
I got kicked off with my bad internet.
Okay. I thought Jackie was waiting this whole time. All right. So we have about 8 more minutes. And so coming up from child's pose, grabbing a drink of water if you like, and then meeting back in all fours. And so once you're on all fours, we're going to come into a low lunge, taking your right foot and bringing it up in between your hands. And so this low lunge, though, I want it to be, it's going to be an active one. So both of your knees will be at a 90-degree bend. So you'll be directly, your hips will be directly over your back knee. And then right knee is directly over your right ankle. Good. So this is just more of an active way to get into your left hip flexor. And if you want to intensify it, you can either take your hands and push them gently against your right knee. That will get you even deeper into the hip flexor. You can also take your left hand and reach it up and do almost like a side bend to the right. That gets into that whole line on your left side, all the way from your fingertips down to your knee. So wherever you are in this pose, just taking 3 more breaths here. Just actively pushing the mat away with your right foot and your left knee, pushing into the mat. Good, and then getting more into the right hip and groin, taking both of your hands and placing them inside your right foot. We're going into lizard pose here. So getting into the hips with no pigeon. And so now you don't have to stay up in that straight line, that 90-degree angle. You can kind of just let yourself come down onto your hands. You might have your shoulder pressing against your right knee. Just opening up that right side, getting really deeply into the groin and the right hip. And then if you want, you can lower to your elbows, but I can't do that. Yeah, I'm still up on my arms here. And you can kind of rock back and forth, whatever feels good. You can even bring the right edge of your right foot and open up that foot. So you're taking your foot off of the mat and opening up to the right. And so you're just getting even more into your hip and maybe into your the right side of your butt, kind of. So letting your right knee fall out to the right if that feels good. Don't worry, we're not going into pigeon. Awesome. And then when you're done that, bring your right foot back to meet your left and just kind of move your hips around just to reset. That can be really intense for the right hip, so I think doing a few hip circles is good here. Before we go to the other side. Awesome. So now taking your left foot, or whatever side you didn't do before, and bringing it up in between your hands. And then pushing yourself up. Now this is a little bit of a balance pose here too. So that's why I like to take my hands and press them against my left knee and feel your spine lengthening with that pressing. Heel, front foot is digging into the mat, as is back knee. And breathing here. And if this is sore in your knee, you can just fold your mat. You should be getting deep into the right hip flexor now. And then if you want, you can come into that side stretch as well. So reaching up with your right hand and then opening up to the left. Watch out for balance here. This is so good because I can feel it all the way from my knee up to the fingertips. Opening up the right side. Lengthening the spine. And getting further into the right hip flexor. Good, and then we'll take our hands down and we'll bring them to the inside of the left foot. And you can walk the left foot out a little bit if you want. Coming now into lizard. So now letting your hips sink down to the ground. And opening up that left side of the hip. Still getting into the right hip flexor too. I don't know if you feel that, but I do. Breathing here. You can move around a little bit if you want. You can also open up the left knee if that feels good. I'm taking my left hand to my left knee to push it open even a little bit more, super gently. Awesome, and then 2 more deep breaths here. In whatever lizard pose is best for you. And then on the next inhale, bringing your knees back to meet again. And we're just gonna come around onto our bum, swinging our legs out in front of us. Back of the body feels open, front of the body feels open. You can take one more chest opener if you like. So legs are out in front of you, feet are flexed, and then opening up your chest one more time, pushing it out. Awesome. And then when you're ready, just rolling down into final resting pose, into Shavasana. When you get there, wiggle around a little bit. Just get into a comfortable position for Shavasana. This is where our body can integrate all of the good work we've just done. So if the video cuts off, just relax there. 5 deep breaths, feeling your body sinking down into the ground. Enjoying the feel of your hips, your back, and your neck after all that work. I'm just letting the final tension go. Any final tension in the mouth, in the neck, letting the earth absorb it. Relaxing your jaw and your forehead. Feeling the skin of your body. Maybe there's a gentle breeze. What does the breeze or the air feel like on your skin? Sinking deeper into the earth. And Continuing to let your thoughts go. Taking one final breath in this still space. And then taking your arms above your head, feet reaching out long, arms stretching up, taking one big long body stretch all the way from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers. And then rolling on to whatever side and coming on up to seated. Joining me in cross-legged pose, bringing hands to heart. Again, letting your mind settle one last time. Namaste, yogis. Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Bye.